beautiful. All right. You know what time it is? Let's hone it in.
Let's get it.
MIC Podcast, episode 103. Community content. You get it all here. And listen, our guest today is a man of many talents, a man of many hats. He is an artist. He runs his own studio. I saw him on IG learning guitar, the other day, just cuz. Today we are here with BrothaMans. What's shaking, bro? Good to see you, man. Good to see you, bro.
We here.
Absolutely, man. Stop. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Go On. DBC, bro. It's the first anime I really ever got my hands on, just like as a fan, bro. You feel me? So, bro, it's really good to have you here, man, because I've definitely seen you perform. So like I moved to Pittsburgh about 3 years ago now as of January. So like I've seen you perform, but the most recent performance was at C&D. Right, and like that's the one that yeah. What no. Yes. I'm sorry. It was the 1 year anniversary.
Okay.
Yeah. So like it was that joint. The Halloween joint, and that that performance, man. Cause like I saw you perform, I was like, yo, this nigga is a cap. Like he knows just how to command his presence on stage. You know what I mean? Like out of all the performances of the night, like yours definitely jumped off the page. Like it was just an authentic performance, bro. You know what I mean? So like I'm really glad to be able to get down there. No, bro, no. I mean, listen, bro, the cream is always gonna rise. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. You know what I mean? So like it's always gonna shine through. Authenticity always wins every time.
Yeah.
So it's good to like chop it up with you, man. I do want people to get like just like more in depth. You know what I mean? Knowledge about you. You know what I mean? Things that like they may not know, bro. So for for people who may not know, bro, it's like where in Pittsburgh are you from? Like what area did you grow up in? Things of that nature.
Yeah, so I'm from the East. Oh, excuse me, got a frog in my throat.
You good?
I'm from the East. Wilkesburg, born and raised. I still live.
Want to hold the mic a little bit right here?
Huh?
Oh yeah.
That's better.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I'm from the East, Wilkesburg, born and raised.
Okay.
I still live there now. 26. Got an education degree. Got a little bit of background in musical theater.
Okay.
Started out in marching band. That's where a lot of my musical inclination comes from.
Nice.
Went to Obama High School. Went to Point Park for college. Just regular nigga East Side.
Yeah. Nah, for sure. And you said that you got an education degree. So like you spent the 4 years at Point Park.
Yeah, actually, I did 5 years. So
Okay.
Freshman year, I had to do like this program so I could get the Pittsburgh Promise, which is like this like little scholarship that you could apply to your schooling. So I went over to see Stacey for a year, did that, and then I did 4 years at Point Park.
Okay. What made you want to like pursue an education degree?
Honestly, it was an impulsive switch. My original my original major was physical therapy. I wanted to get into training. I was an athlete throughout high school and like throughout my childhood. So I think I wanted to do something like that had to do with just working with people and maybe not coaching, but definitely like working in sports. And I found out like after like the first 2 months, I was like, this is just there's no like ceiling to this. Like it just kind of you're just gonna be doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Not that you're not making a difference, but for me, it wouldn't be like satisfying when I really wanted to be able to do.
For sure.
So, there was this guy, Mr. Smiley at CCAC. He's not there anymore, but he was a math tutor, and I would go there just to kind of get like some of my pre-calc work done and just kind of help support with tutor and stuff. Like
yeah, right.
And he was making things make so much sense, and I'm like, yo, I really like how he teaches. Like
I was about to say anything that could make pre-calc make sense.
He made it make sense, bro.
Like,
and he definitely, I want to say he was a major inspiration as to why I was like, you know what, I want to switch my major to education and just kind of see like what I could do with that. So I switched over to education.
Damn.
And then I lined up my classes so I could transfer to a school that had a good education program. So aligned for me.
That's crazy, bro. Like, I mean, shit. Like, I mean, and shout out to teachers, just because, like, you get stories like that where it's just like, just one teacher who can, make pre-calc make sense to you, can just, impact you, so much. What sports did you play? I didn't know.
I played basketball.
Okay.
Baseball and played volleyball. We had the state's volleyball run. Basketball wise, we went to city championships twice. But we lost to our rivals Dice. So it is what it is. Fuck Dice.
Yeah.
But bro, story about Dice. So like I told you, I have a background in acting, so I still do some acting like here and there, like or like this is my first time like doing some stuff on screen.
Yeah,
so
right.
I'm actually right now I'm in a film where I'm playing a guy, Kevin, and he goes to Older Dice. So like the story is based off of my high school's raffle. So I'm just like, wow, I'm an official op now.
Okay. I'm an official op. I've done all the paperwork and everything.
Here I am pretending to be a dice student.
Dog, we're gonna put a pin in that piece because that's super dope. Because like I definitely do want to kind of go into that experience, bro. So you said like you're pursuing the education degree. You switched from physical therapy and all that. So again, just kind of taking back what was the earliest point when you saw that you were interested in music, or just like interested in like just that realm?
I would say my family's like super musically inclined. So like every time we have like a family cookout, people are bringing drums, guitars, instruments, just a jam session at some point in the evening. Right. My family's also the family who we were like the whole music for the church that I grew up in. So it was like I was always surrounded by music. I was always like kind of influenced by it, always singing in the back seat of my car, trying to sound like the radio, So with that being like a part of my upbringing, like how just like our family is, I think it was inevitable. And then once I kind of got the resources, it was like, oh, this is how I do this, or this is how I want to do this. If I want to play with music or make different genres, it feels a lot more comfortable because I've always been making music. We sing country shit. We be singing family shit, R&B, Christmas shit, everything.
Yeah, right.
So like, when you come from a family who just embraces music and like they're also super supportive of you when you want to do music, it makes making music easy
for sure. And I just want to touch on the church piece, man, because like we've had plenty of people here who grew up in the church. I say I quote unquote grew up in the church. I mean, obviously, like as I got older, I kind of strayed away,
right?
Constantly going to church, but
spirituality.
Yeah, exactly. But I said all that to say that like church is such a breeding ground, bro. I like every time like people just be like, like I was in church and like I just realized old people could like, sing at this range, or like, oh, that's when I was introduced to like, this sort of like, it's just such a breeding ground for like, just talent, and like, it just like unlocks a certain.
If you don't mind me asking, what faith were you raised in?
It was so like I'm Nigerian, so like I went to like a primarily like a Nigerian church, but like I would say it was like a branch of like Baptist. Like it was just like like it had that same energy, niggas speaking in tongues, fucking dancing through the fucking aisleway, fucking yeah, so like it was like it was a lot of that. So
giving praise,
bro, facts, exactly. Praise and worship, all that, bro. So like it's and like just even for you, like what was it like, just kind of growing up in the church, like seeing all these, just like kind of unlocking that perspective of musicality in that
so I was raised Hebrew Jewish.
Okay.
Yeah. So
wow, really? Okay.
We had a Sabbath. We had practice Passover in Purim, and we would learn how to like read Hebrew and have a Hebrew camp in the summer. And a lot of our songs were just like so dynamic. I mean, like the entire congregation is like singing and harmonizing in key. So it's like we don't need a choir. The church is a choir.
Yeah.
So I felt like I really embraced that, and I really appreciated like the moral stability that comes with it, because my entire family on my dad's side was a part of that church. So it's like when you have everybody who you love and surrounding you, it's kind of easy to embrace that.
Yeah, right.
I kind of always wanted to play in church. I never got the chance to, but my uncle, who was like the lead drummer, would teach us stuff in the summertime.
Okay.
And would teach us like little small mini music workshops and stuff. So like we would be getting like, professional training, just in summer camp, just like on a bah humbug, so that was like a big influence on my overall experience. But then there also is like a sector of it being like independent as well, to where like public school was like a great platform for my music. Like the musical department at Obama, the marching band department, like they really let me do whatever I wanted. So it was like, we have a drummer, we know somebody could do it, throw Manny in there, Manny could do it, and I'm not even reading the sheet music, I'm just doing whatever I want, so it's like just kind of having that autonomy, also mixed with having like the structure and seeing how the other ways it could be.
Yeah.
It was like a melting pot, honestly. It just kind of gave me a lot of platform for experience, and I really appreciated it.
That's crazy, man. I never would have guessed that you grew up Hebrew. Like,
yeah, bro,
that's nuts. Like,
Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy. Like, so like, growing up in Wilkinsburg, like what did that like, church congregation look like? Like, were you like one like a few black people there? Like,
bro, definitely no. Well, so the church is primarily black, so like it was mostly like focusing on like the practice and studies of like black people being an original true Israelite.
Yeah, right.
Like of our people and
right.
like biblical history,
Sure.
So with that being like the foundation, the congregation is like 100% black, but maybe like 2 or 3 white people.
Like,
know about that practice and faith.
Somebody
will bring them in and they'll be there at the time.
Got you.
But for the most part, I could say like for a lot of my childhood, I definitely felt sometimes ostracized, or like I was just like doing life different, because like it's a very strict practice. Like, like Friday nights, TV off, we the Bible. Saturday, you're not going out, you're not playing. So I really couldn't play a lot of like sports and stuff like that until I kind of got to like high school, where I could make my own decisions.
Yeah, right.
Hey, I want to do this thing. It happens to be on Saturday, and that's that's just gonna be what it's gonna be.
Shit, right.
My mom also, she was raised Muslim, so like we kind of had like a little two-party state thing going on in the house. Like,
right. Okay.
My dad, who's Jewish, kind of like leading the house, and then we got my mom's Muslim upbringing and like her own, faith and practice.
Also kind of believe in everything. Yeah.
She would sometimes take me, over to my aunt's house on the weekend, or I would go get to stay over my cousin's house. So I kind of got to have like experiences of what I guess we would call like a normal American childhood.
Sure.
But then like mine was definitely different in the sense that there's a filter of the Sabbath and like traditional Jewish practices that can get in the way of like somebody doing regular stuff, like going to a party on Friday night, or playing community sports on the weekend, stuff like that. So I had to wait. But then public school kind of balanced that out, because public school does everything.
In a court, kind of like levels you out. Yeah, exactly.
Play sports. Tuesday nights and Thursday nights are games. I'm like, oh shit, I'm a BS nigga for sure, bro. Like I'm a really rock out. So, bro, basketball, loved it. Volleyball, soccer, played everything that I could. But when it came to the creative stuff, bro, like musical department, I was the drummer for like the first 2 years, or even for like the marching band. I got a few years for being drum major. So I kind of got to have like that autonomy and being able to control it and do what I wanted.
Beautiful, man. And not like that just, even puts some perspective, to me. I'm just like, yo, talking to a Hebrew nigga right now. Yeah, shout out to that.
Yeah, bro. Like sometimes I'll be at work, right? And one of my coworkers, he's raised traditionally Jewish.
Yeah, right.
And, I had mentioned, I was like, yeah, bro, I'm raised Hebrew Jewish. She was like, no, you're not. I was like, bro, I really am. So I wrote out a sentence like, in like some Hebrew characters. I was like, bro, this is how I spell my name if I was like Jewish. And he was like, bro, you really know? I was like, yeah, bro, you read right to left. Like it's a whole different.
It's a whole different.
But I appreciate that experience. But like, no, in adulthood, my spirituality is a lot more individual.
Yes,
I pray to God, talk to God, I meditate. I do things on my own. Because not that I don't align with their practices or their beliefs, but I don't.
Definitely, yeah, right.
I'm an adult now. I have my own ideas, practices, and experiences that contribute to how I feel. I still love and care for my family who are a part of that church still, but my own beliefs and practices are just different. But I say all that to say it's just like a big part of who I am and how I got to be, like as a person, as a creative, and just as a man.
That's super dope, bro. And I know you said you spoke on drums earlier. I know that you said that your uncle actually played the drums.
Yeah.
Was he the person in your family that you kind of gravitated towards, musically? Or like, was there anyone else in your family that like, had like a heavy impact on you as far as like, developing your musicality?
I'm not gonna hold you. And I don't even want to make it seem as if I did it on my own, but
right.
I think like there were some like things that took place within the church that kind of like created some divide as far as like within my household and like the church. But I think that there were also like barriers that kind of kept me from wanting to be like as inclusive as I could be. If that makes sense.
So, as far as well, like yourself.
So my birth name is Emmanuel. Just being super transparent with you guys here.
Yeah, sure.
My birth name is Emmanuel.
Appreciate it.
My church, they felt like that could be blasphemous because that's like similar name to Jesus, and or one of Jesus' many names. So with that being the case, they would refer to me as my middle name, Luke, instead of my first name, Emmanuel. I mean, everybody calls me Manny in reality, but this, as I'm growing up in my, childhood,
sure,
this is something that's taking place. So I never fully felt I was a part of the congregation with that being the case, because I kind of just felt like that was like a separation kind of thing. Yeah. And, that was a one person specific idea, and that kind of makes it feel just like a bit like not really spiritually guided. It feels more like a personal thing, here and there. But with that being the case, that meant that a lot of my exploration or the things that I wanted to actually do on my own, I would have to do on my own.
Okay.
Because I personally didn't feel comfortable being like, hey, can I play the church drums this weekend? Or can I come over this week to learn how to play the drums for church this weekend? I just didn't feel like that comfort. That's just the true reality of it.
Yeah, sure.
But like again, PPS, bro, a school where I could do whatever. I could walk into the musical department, walk into the marching band department, go tune the drums, play with them, go in there like during lunch or whatever. I could be at school till like 7:30, 8:30 after school.
Yeah, right.
Playing around, just trying to find, my own creative abilities. And that is really what sharpened like the pen for real, bro.
Okay, so when you were pursuing marching band, what was that journey like? Were you just kind of like in school and like that was again like something like, was that already an itch that you wanted to scratch going into public school? Was it just like you just kind of saw what was available to you and you were just like, that kind of looks cool. Like, let me just go fuck with that.
I think the drums, like, as far as like on like a school basis, it kind of like snowballed. So like in like 4th grade, I started playing a snare, and like that was when like my teacher was just kind of teaching me how to read music and like how to play stuff. So like I got that experience, and then once I got to middle school, I went to prep, and at prep they had like this marching band class with Mr. Harris, and Mr. Harris was also one of the assistant directors for the high school Shinley. So it was like he was like low key like routing the students he was teaching in that class to be in a marching band. So like he was like teaching me like snare cadences. He was teaching me like how to hold the sticks traditionally and how to like play and how to march with them all throughout middle school. So once I had transitioned over to Obama, it was just a coincidence that he was actually one of the teachers who would be like the assistant directors there. So I got there my freshman year of high school, and I was so excited to be in a new social space that I really didn't focus too much on music. Like I was like, I want to be an athlete, I want to get all the bitches, I'm gonna be at all the pep rallies, right. I was more so thinking about
the instincts kick.
I wasn't thinking about music too much.
Absolutely.
Like for most of the year, bro, I was playing in concert band just to like help out, just because I love music and I love playing the drums. But it was actually the drumline kidnapped me. That sounds crazy, bro. The drumline kidnapped me before one of their rehearsals for Cedar Point, because they go to Cedar Point.
You got the plot to drumline Nick Cannon's joint? Yeah,
look, it sounds like some wild shit, bro. So I was staying after for one of the concert rehearsals that we were doing, and Miss Sharif, the band director, she was having a rehearsal for the Cedar Point trip that the band goes on every year, and she had said in class, she was like, "Hey man, you wanna come to the rehearsal that we're having later on today?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I kind of blew it off because I already knew I had a rehearsal for her for something else. So I really didn't want to go to it, but I was about to blow it off, and then 2 of the snares, and then like one of the bass drummers was like, "Yo, bro, you should stop past later on." And they see me later on in the day, so I stopped past for a second. But they put me into the drumline room and like was literally teaching me drum stuff. So like I didn't get kidnapped, but it was like I didn't have a choice to not learn it. And the next thing I know, they just put a drum harness on me, and we're marching around like during rehearsal for like 2 hours. I didn't leave school till like 9 that night. Yeah, like I appreciate it because I felt wanted, and like that was like it was a psychological thing. It was like, all right, something that I want to do, I'm going to appreciate that. But then when somebody wants you in that space, and they're like, seeking you out, and like, yo, bro, come to this, you feel like, all right, cool. I'm a slide. I guess since y'all want me or whatever,
Let me fuck.
And like not being shallow, but that's the validation that kind of goes into art that I appreciate too.
Absolutely, bro.
Seeing the value in what you can do or what you can provide to their space, and then want you to be there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, bro? Bro, invite me to the podcast. I was like, yeah, I appreciate it, real shit,
bro. No, and like because like we were just like talking about football earlier. I mean, it's just like it's kind of like a little bit of a Brady situation as far as like like Bledsoe gets injured, they sub, you win, and like next thing you know, it's like fuck it, all right, he gonna be our starter now, fuck it, right? Yeah, for sure. 7 Super Bowls later, you know what I mean? Like so, like that's crazy. So just like even looking back at time, like during marching band, like. What do you think that you may be pulled from that experience, or just really any of your experiences in marching band that just pulled into your career now? It's like the way you approach music and now.
So like I said, marching band, we were like small, but we were strong and mighty. So like we got to do a lot within the space that we had. Shout out to my boy Devo, shout out to JK, shout out to Horace. We were all drum majors together at some point. Horace and Devo, they both played the trumpet. Devo, he's a producer now. And then Horace and JK, they're both investors, a part of Man-Made Studio.
Oh, so like
we're all still working on music. We're all still very much invested in this shit. And the marching band gave us like the glue to like kind of build our friendship and our dynamic. But then it also like gave us like our first experience with songwriting, our first experience with production from scratch. Like there were times where we would meet up on the weekends and order some pizza, and we're just talking and like, all right, get the keyboard out, and all right, we'll have the trumpets do this, and we'll have the people do that, and like when I were finding harmonies, and me and JK are sitting there figuring out the drum line. So like there were times where we were just like taking initiative as high schoolers just because we wanted our band to be good, and then we would come to rehearsal on Monday with like makeshift sheet music or like a couple notes written down in order, like do this, and then we'll figure it out from there. But like that just kind of gave us the chemistry to be comfortable with music and to see like how we could fit ourselves into it, and like how we could also like learn from each other, because like I have a focus on drums. I don't have much pitch theory, but Devo and Horace, they both play, pitched instruments. So like they know about notes and transposing and changing scales and keys. So like I could learn from them. I mean, me and Devo, we talk on the phone like almost every night about that shit. So, it contributes to just like the overall dynamic that we have of music. And then when you take what we got with the drums and giving that to them, now they're getting better with, making their own ideas or making their own drums for music. So it's just like, bro, iron sharpening iron for sure.
Type shit. I was gonna say like it's even dope to hear that y'all are so fuck with each other.
Bro, band nerds for sure.
No. I mean like I feel you, bro. I mean me and Mike have been friends for damn near close to 10 years now at this point. You know what I mean? So it's pretty crazy. So like I definitely get
How'd you guys connect to school?
Yeah, we met at college, bro. So like, since then, just
Where'd you go to school at?
Penn State. Yeah,
we are
type shit, So and shout out to the football team, but that's a whole other broken heart essay I have to fucking go into. But moving past high school for you, so and just kind of looking forward to college. So when did you actually start creating your own music, and like when did that was that in college? Was that like prior to when you got to college, like kind of like after you left high school? Like
it was like that college transition. So I got to CCAC and I started writing poetry like on my own time, just like on the bus, like looking out the window. Like little small subtle stuff.
You're right, yeah. The short bus drives by. Thank God I'm not there. Type shit, right? Yeah.
Trying to find like ways that I can find like a voice through my pen, but in my own notes, it was a very like raw idea.
Sure.
Space, but the first one I had completed, 3005, I still perform that. I still do that. At different shows. Around the city. If you
wrote a poem called 2005, or like you just performed?
Okay. I call it 3006. It's supposed to be like based off of
Gambino's.
It's supposed to be like a year later.
Okay, word. All right, facts. Okay.
But yeah, so that was one of the first poems that I wrote, and that kind of helped snowball things. And at the same time, as I was writing poetry, Devo, or I don't want to call him his raw name, Vance Vaughn, the producer, he started making beats. And he's like making beats all the time, and he's sending me songs and showing me stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then at some point, that kind of like transitioned into like, yo, bro, I made this beat. Let's just freestyle one and see what we make. I'm like, all right, cool. So we're making like random songs, all kinds of stuff, and kind of just playing with my experience with musical theater, playing with my experience with performing already, and like kind of getting into acting. So I kind of had the comfort of just performing in front of somebody else. So it was like, oh, you want to freestyle? Cool. Let's just make a word and say shit, or, you want to sing? All right, cool. Like, he's like, oh, you're really comfortable with this shit. I'm like, yeah, bro. I mean, I don't make music, but like, I'm not afraid of it, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
So a lot of the barriers that some people face are like, just, they're not comfortable being super loud. They're not comfortable with singing a song or making a weird face to make a note, I'm like, fuck that. I'll do it. If I got to fart and throw this bitch out of the I'll fuck with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Real shit.
Go get the note.
I'm making the sound out, bro. Real shit. So, him making beats kind of like led to me being like, oh, well, we got an in-house producer. Let's really get this cracking. So we started there. We started making like a lot of like random like alternative like R&B songs, and then at some point I was like, I like to rap too. So I started making rap beats on my computer.
Okay.
That snowballed, and then eventually I got into performing. My first spoken word performance kind of like was like the light bulb, because I had performed in like musicals and stuff like that and acting all throughout my childhood. Because my family, they're big in the theater. So she does costume and makeup design. My Aunt Kim, she's a playwright.
Oh, director.
So
all right.
I was always had theater. Sawdust in my blood was what it called. Whenever your family like brings you into it.
Wow.
So,
that's crazy.
I had that experience, yeah. And I would use like that comfort to perform like on stage. So like I'm doing my spoken word. People are like, yo, bro, like how long have you been doing this? I'm like, this is my first performance. Like this was fun. Like I'm like, yo, you should definitely like get into recording. And like that was the first, like I guess get my feet wet of being like, okay, I could make music and do poetry and kind of have like this like duality to my music, to where I can still sing and do like the melody stuff and be introspective, but then there's like this pocket of like energy that I still got to get out, as far as like rap or just jumping around on stage and shit, or just like even connecting with people. So like as much as I love what the poetry does for my lyricism and my writability and creativity as far as songwriting, I still have like this intrinsic energy that just wants to rap, that wants to jump around and just have fun with music.
Yeah.
Like, all of that kind of came from that upbringing and those experiences.
That's so the theater, all that stuff. Probably like, were you like in plays, like, growing up, like through middle?
Yes, I was in Dreamgirls. I was in Legend of Black.
Holy shit.
Raising in the Sun, bro. A bunch of shit. I think I got a few awards when I was like 10 or 11 for Dreamgirls, because I did like a backflip on stage, and it was like, oh wow, so much energy. So it's so new.
Who'd you play in Dreamgirls?
I played Jimmy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I played Jimmy. So I had a few scenes where I was just like, having fun.
Crazy.
And then
how old were you when you were doing that?
There was like maybe 9, 10. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, 9, 10. And it was an all youth cast. Like,
okay, word. Yeah, girls. Yeah, type shit, right.
I think somebody's mom was like the director, and like, she put her daughter in it and everything. So like it was like very much like a fun experience.
No,
it was
for sure.
Like a kid's experience.
No, definitely, bro. That's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah,
like
all of these different experiences, bro.
It just led to that.
Yeah, but it just contributed to
that first spoken word.
Exactly. And once I got that out the way, I was like, oh, this is it. this is what I need to be doing for sure.
So after that, like, would you say like that's when you started taking like making music seriously?
Yeah, for sure. Because after that, it was like I need to make more new stuff, and I want to make it out of quality. But I didn't embrace like quality at a good standard yet. Like,
yeah, sure.
I mean, I started off recording on my, on my MacBook Air, in GarageBand. Not that that's a bad platform.
No, for sure.
When I'm trying to get a higher level of quality, if I don't have like the plugins or like the know-how, I'm kind of just making raw content on there, which it served its purpose. I put in probably over 1,000 hours just making shitty music, like shitty quality music. Good music with good beats, but like shitty quality in a sense that it's not mixed mastered properly. But I'm just twisting knobs and figuring out what certain things, seeing common names and shit like, what the fuck is reverb? Like, why is shit so fucking loud when I turn this?
Who's that nigga reverb? Get that nigga in here right now. Yeah.
Bro, like, it's just like small shit that happens and nuances that you just learn over time. And then, like, you know what I'm saying, fucking up after so many times kind of is like a way to learn what to do.
Yeah, facts. So, like,
don't do that thing,
So what, like, what did it look like to just, like, develop that skill and, like, where you're currently at through your time during college? Like, what that look like for you?
There was a point in college where, like, I always had my, like, laptop open. I'm always working on, like, some kind of beat or something. Not to an annoying point, but almost to a point to where it was like you're almost obsessed with this shit. Like, and I loved it because, like, I was in control of like the production. I was in control of what it sounded like. I was in control of what I would do. And I loved GarageBand because you could upload right to SoundCloud. So,
yeah, right.
And like anybody who knows, a lot of like maybe like the first or 2-3 years of BrothaMans music as far as publishing stuff, it was a lot of SoundCloud drops, a lot of like, hey, link.
Yeah, right.
Just trying to like really like get my sound out there because I wanted people to see the credibility and the value in it. And so there was like an oversaturation of BrothaMans at some point. But then I think because I increased the quality, I'm still doing like that same level of output, but it's an increased quality. But back then it was like I just wanted to get so much music out, and there were so many ideas that I had that I wanted to embrace them.
Mm-hmm.
So like that was like the primary focus.
So when like so after that spoken word is like obviously that's like a huge pivotal point for you. Like when did you start dropping actual music?
So my first drop was independent drop that I produced was my song Discovery. And I dropped that on SoundCloud 2016 or 17, I think.
Okay.
And it was just like this little rinky dink like and like I just kind of like took that loop and threw some drums on top of it and kind of made it sound like a little like almost like a jungle vibe for real.
Okay.
But I dropped that and like that one really kind of inspired me to keep making because I was like, okay, I can produce it, mix it here, and then put it right out. So like that routine kind of started with that song Discovery. It's still out on SoundCloud right now too.
At this point, like, are you going to your homie Vaughn to get beats, or like are you just
Yeah, so I mean, like, he sends me beats all the time. Oftentimes it's just for feedback and stuff like that.
Okay, word.
Well,
okay.
But sometimes he'll send me something that's fired up. I'm like, bro, if nobody buys that, that's me.
Yeah, word. Yeah,
for sure. But I mean, I go to him for like more dynamic processing, more dynamic stuff that I can't handle sometimes in my mix. I'm not too ashamed to say he's a better engineer and producer than me in some things. So like as far as like vocal compression or understanding like the actual technical side of things, he's like very well versed. So I appreciate him for that. So like if I got a song, even on Kinfolk 3, like the album that I'm putting together with my cousin, there were a couple tracks where I was like, yo, bro, can you mix this one? He's like, yeah, I got it. Send me the stems. I got you. So like if it's something that I feel like I don't want to mess it up because I may not have like the skill set or like the hardware in my studio to handle it, I'll track it out to bro and
for sure
knock it out, like with respect, and I'll send him a little bit of bread or something, just because I respect, making sure that we pay everybody, pay your artists, pay your producers, pay your engineers. But those are like the things that you take advantage of because you have people in your circle who are also doing the same things as you, and like it's a give and take. So like there's sometimes I'll send him a beat or send him something, or even like I'll give him like free features if he's working on a project, or just come in and do like some vocal harmonies and supports for when he has clients or sessions. So like I don't mind like helping him out in that way too.
So what was it like, or like what was the process of you putting out your first project? So like just kind of like fast forward here, like after your first performance, you start making music and stuff like that. Like, like you've probably made songs, like leading up to this project. That first project, what was it, like what was that process like? And like, what did you, want to say with that project?
So the first project was the Time EP.
When did that drop? What year did that drop?
I dropped the Time. Actually, that was my first major release too. The Time EP dropped February 1st, 2019.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Okay. And that was
damn. So the anniversary coming up too. Yeah. That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, that is crazy. First project that I had with a music video, the song 927, it did pretty well as far as like, like YouTube and like Apple Music, Spotify. But I still felt like there was a limitation on like the quality of it. Like it was still like a personally mixed project that, I found like the best quality that I could get at the time out of that. And then sent that off to an engineer to have them, master what I sent them. But even then, like, there were steps that I was skipping that I needed. But that project, it was designed to kind of establish my introspection and my lyricism. So like there's like a lot of social commentary on like 927. That song's really about just kind of being committed to like your personality and like, kind of being authentic and who you are and not letting people change that, wherever that is.
Right.
Then there's another song on there called Say Less, which is like very emotionally driven and is like kind of more so focused on moving on, but learning from what it was that led to you moving on. So like, I was really trying to like say I have emotional things to say, and like I have like, some depth to me beyond just like, fucking bitches and getting
sure, right.
And I was trying to establish that early. So like the first project that I put out focused on that. But the first album, Chapter 1, that came out about 3 years later in 2022.
Why the 3-year break?
I didn't feel ready. I didn't want to give people more than 10, 12 minutes worth of music that wasn't like quality, that didn't have, something to say, that didn't have like a story kind of going on in it, and not a story that it's like, oh, this is how it went, like not like beginning, middle, end, but a story as far as like, oh, that like this song means that to him, or this song has that kind of value, or even like interludes, like stuff like that. And like the introspecting, like you're gonna keep hearing me say that word, but
no, absolutely,
it wasn't fine-tuned enough, and I really didn't have anything to say like album worthy yet. So like I think 2022, like I was learning like, oh, I have like 4 songs that are like album quality bangers, and then I can make, like not filler jams, but I can make, the in-betweeners that kind of like just kind of carry over and are part of the album. But I had like 4 solid tracks: Mind Reader, Safe, Make It Out, and IDK. Those 4 songs, I was like, these on any album will stick out for sure. And once I put them in place and then I made the rest of the filler songs, I was like, all right, well, I just kind of figure out the vibe. And Chapter 1, while it didn't hit its streaming goals, for so many people, I think that it hit its sonic goal, which is like, oh, this is a great quality album. It's dope. Shout out to Carnegie Mellon. They purchased it and added it to their Stacks library. A lot of people have gravitated to it. They got favorite songs off of there. And what kind of led to me getting back into production and getting back into the studio life was the first studio owner who I just recently connected with about a year and a half ago over at Ground City. She had listened to my album. She was like, yo, do you want to like come engineer in my studio? And like that kind of led to me getting back into production and back doing Man-Made Studios on a recording tip. Because for a while I wasn't doing recording. I was just doing music videos, photography, media, and making custom beats.
Music videos for you or other people?
Music videos for everybody, yeah. So like we were tapping in for music videos. I was shooting them, I was directing them, I was editing them.
Grind. Like, I mean, like,
so it's a grind for sure.
For like, and like shooting music videos for other people, and like, kind of just like, touch on that experience, briefly. Like, listen, this is the creative field, man. Like, everyone got their quirks and everything. Like, working with someone who is super efficient and professional may not be the next experience that you get with the next client that you're working with, bro. So like, how did you balance that? And then on top of that, you're like, I'm like, this ain't even my shit, my nigga. I don't even really give a fuck that much. I'm gonna be real, but
it's the truth. This ain't my shit.
Yeah,
so that I used that like to my advantage. This ain't my shit. And it's like I just kind of took like the professional aspect and amplified that. So it's like if somebody is coming to me for something, or somebody wants me to edit something and they trust that they're paying me for it, I'm not married to the vision. I'm more so married to the execution and the process. So I want to make sure that I do the shots right. I want to make sure that I treat them in like a good manner. I want to give them like, the professional experience, and I could be more on time. We all could.
Yeah, sure.
That is what it is. But that is what kind of like kept me from like, pulling my hair out with the shit, because I would shoot videos if somebody had a critique. I'm not taking it personal. Yeah. It's like, this is your idea, it's your vision. Now, I also do include in this first message, we do 2 revisions. The third one, you paying for that one. So like, pick your battles, because we ain't gonna keep going back and forth with that extra shit. So like, make sure it's something that you really want to fix or adjust, or is it something that you maybe can grow on you? And I put that in place so that way I wasn't, working to my best standard. But that's also just account for yourself, because if you find yourself keep doing a lot and you're not getting a return from it, then now I'm just doing work for free, just trying to make sure that this shit's perfect. And there is no perfect. There's gonna be something else wrong that you don't like about it. I got plenty of music videos that I've got to sit back and I'm like, Nah, like I'm not gonna say nothing about it. Like,
Yeah,
it's probably just something in my head. Let me put the video out and feel good about it. Now there are times where you are really invested in a music video or like in a process, and you want to make sure that everything is perfect and you can control that. You can definitely control that. But if it's just like a nice little run and gun video, I'm saying I charge $200 for stuff like that. Like if I'm just coming to you about 2 or 3 locations, I'm just kind of filming, getting a couple angles, some B-roll, throwing some edits on that, and kind of pairing that to the beat. That's real simple. 200 to 400. Now if you're trying to do like props, have a whole storyline or something, we talking upward of 5, 6, and that's just like actually like planning things out. But it's never like a super expensive process. I try to. The whole reason I started Man-Made Studios was to be accessible and affordable. So I'm not trying to be like, oh, you're not getting your value's worth, or I'm worth this much. Like, nah, I want you to be able to afford it. I want it to be something that you could tap back into later on.
Right.
Or, maybe it's not that brand's quality, but it's this brand's quality, and this is what we do, and this is what we provide, and hopefully this is the vision that you have for, or this helps you be a stepping stone to the next thing. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like that is something that a lot of business owners sometimes get in the way of, like not knowing where they can fit their business in the space. It's like I want my business to be accessible to these people who are kind of just getting into music, or people who need a certain level of quality and they make music consistently. That's what we're here for. Whether you need like photography, media editing, music recording, that's I apply that to each of those different services.
And I can tell, bro, just like, I mean, like, I can tell that, like, you really put, like, a lot of stock into your professionalism and, like, just kind of exerting yourself to be able to, be proud of that final product. So I just wanted to, like, touch on that, bro, and just because, I just know recording, music videos is a fucking grind. Just in general. So for other people, I know, like, that takes a extra effort, you know what I mean? But you said something about how I think chapter 1, right? It didn't necessarily reach streaming goals, but like sonic, like, it reached your sonic goals. And I know, just as an artist, bro, like, how do you balance that? Because I mean, just like, like as a creative in general, like, you put everything creatively, it's just, it's a part of you. You know what I mean? If you're doing art the way it's supposed to be done, let me just say that, you know what I mean? Like, it's a piece of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, and you may get, I'm just throwing numbers like fucking, 200 fucking listens or something. You're just like, So like, how did you balance that, knowing that, sonically it's like, yo, like, I'm proud of this, and then like it may not have necessarily, like, at the time have garnered, maybe those numbers that like you may have liked.
I think a big part of it is, it starts with, if the music that you're creating isn't something that you enjoy, you can't really embrace it. So like, prime example, bro, like I listened to myself 3,793 minutes last year on Apple.
Damn, yeah.
And like, that's not an arrogant thing. That's like for revision. That's like for reviews, seeing how quality is, just seeing how cohesive my music is. So I love that they give you that stat, because it kind of lets you know, what are you listening to? What are you? What is your ear gravitating to? What is your like palette? Like, what's your taste for music? And I would take that and like I would embrace that. So like, I never felt like it kind of got in the way. I more so always felt like embracing and listening to my music would be something that would help me fine tune it. So I guess as far as chapter 1 not hitting this goal, I was disappointed. And like, of course, like we're like I'm saying, I'm married to my art, but
what was the goal for that project?
50K. So I wanted to do 50K. It did about 15, which is like a little under a third of it. I think it's.
I mean, shit, 50. I mean, bro, there's not a lot of people that can say they got 15K.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
I appreciate that for sure.
No, definitely.
Getting the growth and like the progress is really what I leaned into with that. So I was like, well, I dropped From the Beginning EP, and that was the in betweener of the Time EP and then chapter 1. So From the Beginning was like, people's first experience with like, okay, what is BrothaMans gonna do with like like an actual project. That one had more speed than chapter 1, but it didn't do the same number. So that one did like 10K, but did like 10K over like 3 years versus like chapter 1 doing like 15K in like a year and a half. So I was like, all right, so I'm making progress. The listeners are there. So like, I looked at that gap and that progress and like that metadata as something that was the win. It was like, all right, more people are listening. There's progress. I got some traction with this, and then Man-Made Studios made progress. People were buying more beats. People were getting more production from me. So it served its purpose. And also, like, something I want to notice is like, I dropped chapter 1 in year 7. So,
okay.
Like, a lot of
wow.
I'm not sure if you ever heard that theory, but like a lot of times they say like if you're an independent artist, the 7th year is usually like the year where you either make some progress or you
Oh,
stop.
no, I never heard that. Okay,
Yeah,
word.
so,
All right.
yeah. There's a saying that year 7/8 are really the years where you start to get more consistency. People see the value in you. People start to support it intrinsically or reach out to you for stuff. And I'm definitely noticing that. And I think that 7 is a number of cycle. And like it's like a completion of cycle. And like ironically, my birthday is on October 7th. So like there's just like so much alignment with when I dropped that album, and what it did and like how it just contributes to like my overall experience with music and marketing. But getting back to chapter 1, I personally didn't think it was a failure. I just think I didn't have the resources to know how to get to what I wanted to do.
Sure.
I ran Facebook ads. I did the promos. I had like like music videos lined up and content ready to go. But what I didn't have was a consistent listener base to find it. And like one thing that is like a blessing and a curse about my music is I make everything. So like if somebody is fucking with something, they may not fuck with everything that I make.
Yeah, right.
And I literally just experienced this the other day where someone was like, this on TikTok, they was like, this song is terrible. This song's fire. And I'm like, for that to be like the
extreme,
for that to be the spectrum of how I feel about my music, which is it's interesting to talk about it. And like I love feedback, whether it's positive or negative, but for that to be the spectrum is like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to brace for some strong opinions.
Yeah, fair.
That's just like a music taste thing, which I'm okay with. But I love that it kind of like helped me carve out a lane for what people can expect from me. So like now, if I get like super loud on a song, or if I like start to belt a ballad, or if I start to sing something emotionally, nobody's confused. Nobody's confused if I want to rap a song about energy, if I want to rap a song about smoking some weed, if I want to rap a song about anything, because I've already kind of set the tone that I'm
fair enough.
That's how motherfucker. Yeah, exactly. And chapter 1 set that platform for me to go in any direction.
So like it won't be jarring if you start branching off on like some of the other shit.
Exactly, bro. So it's like while it didn't, again, like I say, it didn't hit the streaming numbers and it didn't hit what I needed to do as far as the marketing ability, it definitely like created the platform and it created my listener base for sure. Like, there are people who listen to my album every day, and then there are people who listen to songs that sound like my album that I've created after I dropped it. So
that's what
I appreciate it.
Nah, bro, of course, man. Like that's just like what it's gonna be, and like again, like I can already tell, like like the stuff you make is gonna be authentically you. You know what I mean? So like, and as far as like that goal is met, and like you said, like as far as the sonic goals have been met, I mean you can't control the fucking numbers, bro.
I can't.
All you can fucking do is put it out there, bro. And that's what it is. So the journey from chapter 1 to the project that you're working on now with your cousin, like talk about that. And and then like did you drop any projects in between that, or like was it just like songs, or just like like how did that process leading up to Kinfolk 3 like?
So shout out to Dwayne Marquis, man. Love him. That's my cousin. I look up to him. He's somebody I respect, somebody I really care about, somebody who I can be like, truly vulnerable with this music shit. Cause like you gotta have people who you can like open up with and actually talk about the highs and the lows. There's way more lows than there are highs. Like people don't know, like making music is it's probably like, we're actors, bro. We have to act, bro. Like when you lose, it can't look like you lost. When you win, you can't be too like much of a winner or you're arrogant. It's like you have to, everything is very much, I'll say this, the best artists are good actors. And that's just my opinion. But I say all that because that having that vulnerability and that dynamic with my cousin helped us develop Kinfolk. That's really what Kinfolk is based off of. Kinfolk is based off of having a creative space where you can test out new sounds, where you can be expressive, where you can kind of create a listener base that's it's definitely like a
intimate
group. It's an intimate cult of people who listen. I don't want to say cult, subgroup, or like cult following.
Sure.
People who really rock out with us, they know what to expect when they fucking with Kinfolk for sure, because we're going to be creative. It's going to be soulful. It's going to be authentic, like you said. But the first Kinfolk, it dropped back in 2019, and like that project was just supposed to really be like something for.
Were you on that one or like?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So
word.
Me and Dewey, we dropped that on SoundCloud. That's the only one that's on SoundCloud, and that was really like the grassroots. And I don't mean that as a pun because like the tree that's on the logo, but I say that's the grassroots because that was at a time where we really didn't have access to the resources that we needed, but we wanted to still be making music. So we dropped that one, had a couple projects on there. We used like a lot of YouTube beats we didn't have license for, so that's primarily why it's on
that.
Yeah, that's what it's like. Exactly, bro. It's exactly why it's on SoundCloud. It's still there now if you want to go check it out. But you'll see that a lot of the quality is there, but the substance is there for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
We were trying to establish a family aspect without being corny, and I think that familyness and music and modern like hip hop, it's hard to find like a good intersectionality with that.
Yeah, I mean, like I was gonna say, like the Migos is really like the only example.
Yeah, and
real.
even in that, it's like they ain't talking family shit. Like
they're not, and like
they're family. Don't.
That's what I'm saying, and like obviously, like Quavo and Offset, like they seem like they're on like the odds. Like I'm not sure how. I mean, obviously that situation is terrible, but just even between Offset and Takeoff, like it just sucks that it doesn't look like they're on good terms from like the last I've seen. I don't know if that's been remedied recently or anything, but it just sucks. You know what I mean? To just even see that like y'all are, blood, that like, it's just like, damn, like it's like that. Yeah, I mean, like that's pretty wild.
The family divide could be real, but for Kinfolk, it's done nothing but bring us closer to each other as far as like connecting and making music. So we took Kinfolk 1 and was like, should we do this again? Like, should we make this a thing? And at that point, we kind of shifted Kinfolk from being a project into a actual rap duo. So it was like,
okay,
we'll be Kinfolk.
That's hard.
We'll make Kinfolk 2. So
I mean, Kinfolk's a hard name. That's,
I appreciate
it. That's fire.
So we made Kinfolk 2, and Kinfolk 2, we upped the production quality. We got custom beats. It can go on majors. We kind of know a lot more now. We know about rollouts. We've practiced this before, so we kind of been down that lane. And we had a kickback party for it. We did an album release. It was fun. It was over at Black Imperial Levels back when they were it was like an event space for like performances and stuff like that over in Homestead. We were selling merch, sold out all the merch. Everybody came through on time. It was like over 100 people. So like this is my first experience with putting together a full event. So Kinfolk kind of gave us a platform to become event organizers, to become marketers, to become promoters as well. So it was like, damn, like this is really becoming a little bit more. So then now here we are at Kinfolk 3. So many people who came to that Kinfolk 2 listening session, and what it's called the Kinfolk Kickback. But people who came to that were like, yo, can I get on the next one? And I'm like, yo, Dewey, do we want to do features on this? Like, or we Kinfolk, or like a community Kinfolk? Like, how we want this to continue to progress? So like me and Dewey are like the core Kinfolk, like we're Kinfolk core for real. And then like our features are more so like Kinfolk associates or people who we like music that we embrace, that who are also like in Pittsburgh, and people who we see like making traction and doing stuff. So the third one is the first one that features other artists on it, because the first two are just me and Dewey. Okay. And the way that we kind of maintained our Kinfolk ability with it, or our Kinfolkness, is me and Dewey both have
Kinfolkery.
Kinfolkery. That's what it is. Trademark that. It started here. Kinfolkery.
Yeah.
It's got to be on a shirt.
Yeah.
So maintaining the Kinfolkeriness. We both have 2 songs on the overall project that are just us. So it's like you still get our focused vibe. What we're able to do is as we're creating Kinfolk, but then you also get to see how the community of Pittsburgh would bring themselves into the Kinfolk space. So like it was fun. On 4, y'all both definitely got to be on it.
No,
definitely gonna have y'all both on the fucking 4, bro.
That'd be dope.
That would be really cool
for sure.
And like what we're trying to do is create a space that can be like mutually connected to so many different things that whenever you look over here, you kind of still see either me, him, or it. So it's like that's what I'm trying to do, is like be a networking piece, also be a professional experience, also be a positive experience, and treat everybody with respect. That's really all I want to do.
Definitely, man. Just kind of shifting gears here, bro. I do want to touch on just the performance aspect of your career, bro, because again, like I feel like you're a really captivating performer, and like you do such a good job at engaging the crowd. Your energy's up, you know what I mean? So I know that spoken word, and in college, again, that was like a kind of like a mark for you. But from then to now, bro, if you can just kind of like recall, like what was it like just honing your performing skills, from that point on?
My performance experiences, the spectrum is so crazy.
Sure.
Like, I mean, I've been like the last person on a late night 2 a.m.
Yeah.
This would go. Yeah. Mic fucked up speakers, like, and then I've been like the headliner of like like musical festivals, and like people are excited and like looking forward to me coming out. Like, hurry this shit up. Like, let's go. Like, let's get BrothaMans up there. So like having like all of those experiences, bro, it again, bro, it just sharpens the iron, bro. Like, I mean, I remember being at shows where the song cuts off and I have to keep rapping. I'm like, I heard it cut out, but I'm still going, like, still having like maintaining the flow of the song and to continue this shit, bro. Or just like finding ways to I can captivate somebody. Or like one thing that I did learn over time was I'll do the opposite of something acoustically or a cappella if I'm doing a show. So like if I'm at like a R&B show, before I start giving y'all this R&B, let me show y'all a little bit of the flow real quick.
Okay,
So y'all can know what's up. And it's a good attention grabber because if I'm in this space,
it's such a contrast, right? Yeah.
Space doing this one thing, and I do the opposite of that.
Yeah, it's immediately
everybody sees that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought this was an R&B joint.
Absolutely.
Oh, niggas is singing. I thought this was a rap show.
Yeah,
you know
facts.
So either way, you're gonna kind of get, oh, BrothaMans is here.
That's smart. Yeah.
I've always tried to like stand out without doing too much, but it's definitely like a little sad smirk. Like I knew what I was doing.
Yeah,
it was intentional for sure. But yeah, so like the music festivals and like the headlining experiences, that kind of gave me like the validation and confidence. Like, okay, you could do this on any stage. Like you could be BrothaMans here, you could be BrothaMans at a festival, on a block party. That's gonna happen regardless. I want to like kind of hone in and really master turning up the club because like that's such a fine-tuned space that like there's only certain things that motherfuckers want to hear when they're in the club. Now I don't really make club music.
I was about to say like I mean like it's easy, but then again it's just like they want to hear specific vibes.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Way that
like it's very formulaic.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, element to it.
For sure. And a big part of my music is I more so want to be relatable. So I'm not trying to be popular by everybody. I just want like what I'm trying to do to be understood. So it's like if somebody is like, oh, okay, I get that after they listen to my music, or if they understand like the vision I was going for with a video, then that hits. The hardest space for my music, the hardest space for me to like make it make sense is in the clubs. So like at a performance showcase that can make sense. I have some songs that work with like at a like strip club, but like a straight club, like I don't make stuff that you could just like be dancing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like you could vibe to it. I make that you could be in like a small like cafe or like a evening like adult bar or something like that has a good vibe going on. Definitely for sure. So it's about knowing the utility of your music and how it fits in. So like I shy away from like the club scenes. I shy away from stuff. So I don't have many of those experiences, but I can go to those experiences and have a good time. Like it's just about who in that space feels like hearing some BrothaMans shit. Like because I might be singing a little bit, I might be giving a little vibe, and then there are different showcases for different things. That's the best point. It's like the Bridge Music Bar in East Lib is really good for like if you want to do absolutely anything. If you want to do some rap shit, Galaxy and Homewood's a perfect place, you know. So it's like not saying that certain places provide spaces, but they do, you know, and like they cater to a certain type of listener. They cater to a certain type of party goer. So like certain people want to hear certain things, and you got to bring that energy as best you can.
Nah, bro. I just again wanted people to get more perspective on that, bro. So you know, thank you for touching on that, man. I want to obviously bring it in, man. Man-made motherfucking studios, bro. You feel me? As the owner, the founder of that, man, please talk about that journey in, you know, making your own, like it's like a media production company, you know what I mean? Like, and just even like, you know, blending out that creative energy and that mental energy to other people and to the betterment of other people's product. You know what I mean? So just like talk about the journey of that, you know, how that became to be.
Got you. So a little bit of background on Man-Made shortly. Man-Made Studios started off as a fan page for BrothaMans.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, that's crazy.
I made this little Instagram page. You know, a little site, easy password, easy email. And all I wanted to do was stimulate my comment engagement. I could not get people to comment on my shit on Instagram. And I'm just like, you know, maybe if I had
Instagram's algorithm is fucking rough.
Bro, it's fucking rough.
Yeah, that shit is whack.
Working hard and be like. And I think
views.
I know if I comment on this, you might get
you may have 500 followers, but 2 people will see this on your story. How about that?
I'm not showing this to anyone. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
I know, right?
Never understood it. I'll never master it. So I've kind of like deflated from the social media aspect and just kind of like presenting what I create. At this point.
Sure, right.
But Man-Made Studios at the time was supposed to stir the pot for like people commenting, was supposed to stir the pot for people seeing the value and engagement. Maybe if they scroll past and see a couple flames or see a couple extra.
Yeah, right. They'll engage, right? Yeah.
Well, what the fuck is these?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, what's so hot in here?
Exactly. What's heating up my timeline? Exactly. Because Man-Made Studios seems to think that it's hot.
Yeah, fair.
So I made it up to really be like a little ghost spam account where I could like, hey, BrothaMans is dropping this, BrothaMans doing that, and not be as spammy. Okay. Remember I told you I was kind of spamming people with that page. So I didn't want to come. I was like, maybe if it's coming from like an offsetted source, it won't seem so spammy. It'll actually seem probably like organic.
Yeah, right. Like,
there's a brand that wants to just send me BrothaMans links randomly, I wonder what kind of motion he's got.
Yeah, right.
What kind of marketing is this nigga doing? You know, in reality, it's me.
Yeah,
it's me. Hi. It's me commenting on myself again. Don't worry, don't look over here. Nothing to see.
Don't worry about the fuck going on over here.
Shit, we
just hit the link.
So I made it to be that, and shout to Smoke 11 because one day he had reached out to me. White boy, he's a rapper from I think he's from the East or like from like deeper East Pittsburgh, and he's like a spitter rapper, anime motherfucker. You know what I'm saying, heavy on the energy type time. I fuck with him. I still listen to his music nowadays, and he had reached out to me. He was the first person. He reached out to Man Made and asked, "Do you guys do cover art?" Because he was like liking the cover arts I was making for BrothaMans, and I was like, we don't not do cover art. I can make it
what you want,
10
bro.
years, 20 cans, what you need.
Yeah.
So I made him some cover art, and then shout to Brody Casanova because I had been making these like homemade music videos for myself. So I would prop my phone up, get a couple of angles. This is like well before people were like kind of really doing it, but I was like kind of like doing it as I had seen other DIY content creators.
Sure.
I need visualizers, basically visualizers.
Yeah,
you know?
sure.
So I was posting a lot of them, and I was like, sharing them, and I had learned how to put edits on things. So like I'm kind of like, fine-tuning my editing skill at this point. And Brody Casanova, shout to him, he's like family at this point. Like this is somebody, like he produces all the Kinfolk 3 and Kinfolk beats and shit. Like Brody is that motherfucking nigga.
Yeah.
Shout to him. He's like family. He invited me to his wedding. I know his daughter. I know his family life and personal shit. And we were talking about real life. So it's well beyond music. But
right.
But it all started with he DM'd me and asked, "Yo, do you do music videos?" Again, what you think I said, bro? We don't do music videos, bro.
We don't not do that.
He slid through. At this time, my first studio was at a storage unit at the bottom of my street. So I lived in Wilkesburg. So I'm at that space, and
I think I low key may know which one.
The Guardian, the blue Guardian, bro, a Swiss spell, bro, here, bro, right there. So
yes.
When they first built that shit, 2020, that summer, I moved in one of the spaces. I was fucking with it. The lady was like, "Oh, I've never heard of an idea like this. Why do you want to use this space?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna put a booth in here, and we're gonna record music. Like that's what we're gonna do."
Listen, bitch, I'm talking about fucking
real shit. Everything in there. I got everything in there. Shout out to my boy Joel. He helped me build the booth in there. Jakey Construction. Just go follow them on Instagram. Tap into him for like contracting and stuff like that. But Brody slid through, and the music video idea that he had, he wanted to do like a cooking show. He was like, I want to do like a cooking TV show, but I'm also a rapper. And I was like, bro, that is fucking hard. Like that was the first plot that somebody had came to me. Like everything had been run and gun, which is the song, run around, people behind them. And I was like, I could do that, but it was just me. I didn't have people behind me. I'm just like doing a song and kind of just giving a lot of energy.
Right.
But Brody like had a full cohesive. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna come through. I got some sandwiches cut up, and I got props, and I'm gonna have an apron on, but I want to change. I got 3 costume changes. I'm like, bro, this nigga is crossing his T's and dotting his I's, and like I hadn't experienced that in music yet. Like I was very like haphazard, just get it done, pop in the studio, record, write the lyrics down, kind of make it as I'm going. But he was showing me like intentionality with what he was doing. So like that experience made me like, all right, I gotta have a price list. I gotta have a expectation. I gotta set deposits. I gotta figure out how is this experience gonna go for people. So like Brody was like my guinea pig for how I wanted to do that. But it gave me the platform. So shout to Smoke, shout to Brody. Those two people definitely helped push Man Made from a fan page into what it is now. So there was a period in time where things did change though. So I moved out of that space. Some producers had moved in and they were using my name as like reference, but then they were doing shit they couldn't do in there. Like you can't smoke in that building.
Yeah. I mean, no, but cause only reason like I just kind of have like an idea of like what the setup was is cause shout out to Che, man, from the show LHA, bro.
LHA
had a studio in a fucking storage joint. So I was just like, yo, this setup is crazy. But like we couldn't smoke in there, because of that fact, you know what I mean? So man, like I'm familiar with that, like with that vibe, bro. So yeah.
So from that space, I had moved out of there. I took to Facebook. I'm on Facebook doing my business owner live view. Oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I had to get kicked out of my studio. These people, they So one of my friends from high school, she had invited me to move into her basement of her co-space. So, that worked out for a little bit. Things ended up not working out whenever, like, the other owners of the space voted to move somewhere else. I'm like, well, this doesn't work for my business model. I can't move to the South. I live on the East. All my clientele are on the East. It's just, I'm going to lose money. I'm spending money to go lose money. I don't want to do that. So I shut Man Made recording and production down from the end of 2020 to basically November 2021. 22. Yeah, so it was basically shut down for exactly 2 years.
Oh wow, okay.
I think the last session I took in 2020 was like November 10th.
Was it because of COVID? I'm assuming.
No, it wasn't even COVID. It was there was like a room in the co-workspace that like I guess like had black mold in it, and like she like never got that room fixed, but she was still paying for the rental coverage of it. So what ended up happening was she was like, "Hey, can I have a lower rent because I'm paying for a space that I can't use?" And then the person was like, "Well, no, you're still paying for the space. It's on you to get it fixed," and some whole other bullshit. I don't really know all this.
It's on me to fix black mold.
Whatever the fuck it happened. Yeah. I knew that man-made studios could not afford to fucking across the city, bro. I took a fucking L, bro. I was looking at this situation. I was like, am I about to buy you hard?
Man-made studios could not front the cost at the time.
We couldn't do it, bro. I just couldn't do it. So what I had to do was I had to be mature and be real.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I was just getting into teaching. So like, I had just gotten hired by PPS to teach over at Aleo Wow. Shout out to Dr. Henderson. She was an amazing principal to work under. Being in that space, that kind of gave me like a refresher. So it was like, wow, I wasn't doing my production and recording anymore, which was giving me like, that was what was driving me. I was teaching and getting a new experience with kids and students, and I was still doing stuff in that regard. And what I wasn't making in production, I was making from work. So like I didn't notice like the gap in my money because I was full time with the music at that time because COVID, and then COVID stopped, and then teaching schools opened back up. So it was like it was like perfect timing, bro. Perfect timing for sure. Fast forward from that space, and I dropped chapter 1.
Yeah.
So I dropped chapter 1, and then K-Bay, over at Grind City. Shout out to her, love her. She's still an OG, still a mentor, so somebody I look up to and respect. She listened to my whole album in full. And then she had DM'd me on Facebook, and she was like, "Young man, this album is amazing." And she's a family friend, so like I know she works on music. I know she did media. I always tapped in with Grind City, but I had never tapped into it like as far as like on a production tip. It's always been like I took some photos or videos for him a few times. I had done a few events for him, but it had never gotten to like this level of professional partnership that she's suggesting. She brings me in for a meeting one day, and she's like, "Hey, let's talk about numbers. Let's talk about what it would cost for you to be in here. Would you be comfortable paying a rent to, utilize the space? ABC 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, I haven't been in a studio in 2 years. This is ideal. Like, it's got a control room. I can bring my computer in here. So like, it works out. We hash things out. And I talked her into a really good deal. Like, we negotiated stuff. At first, she was pitching, like, she was trying to say, she was saying like $325 a month. And I was like, that's not bad. That's not bad to move my stuff in here. Yeah, I mean, like, if I can get some consistent clientele, that could be like a first week, and then everything else can be profit, So talked her down to $250 a month, and I would give her $500 every 2 months. So it was like, I'll give you this $500 for these 2 months if I could be in here, and we ain't gonna talk about it till April, So like that space and that leeway kind of gave me, like experience to build what my business model is now. But we hit some snags. So like, of course, I'm younger. I can sometimes be forgetful. I would lock the front door, but I wouldn't lock the little gate on it sometimes. Or like, I would book clientele who might have been like inconsistent. People going throughout the entire media space because like it's like a full ass garage like production space she had. Like you can do green screen in there. You can make a fucking movie. You can film. You can do printing, photography. So it's a full ass media space right and bread out. And she would want me to make sure that I could keep my clientele in their space. Sometimes niggas just get antsy, want to walk around, and she's like, "Oh, this is like a TV studio. This is what are these cameras?" And like there were a couple times where that had happened, and like she's out there either working or she's out there doing stuff, and she's like, "Yo, what the fuck, man? Like, control your people." I'm like, I respect that because this is your space. I gotta make sure that I'm establishing the rules up front. So there was a lot of like accountability that she helped me establish with, and then also like she helped me drive in deposits. You're not stepping in motherfucking man-made studios the first time without a deposit. Every other time we got some rapport, we good. But the first time I'm gonna need that deposit. You're not getting the email. You're not getting the address. Right. Like she taught me a lot of stuff that helps me protect my business and kind of help protect my time too. So I respect her for that. Where we butt heads was there was just like some communication and some attitude that I personally don't like to apply to business spaces. Like I'm a real to the cut nigga. Talk your shit in the car later on after if you're not in my face, if you feel like you got an attitude, but you're not gonna give me attitude in the music shit. I had forgot to lock the gate on the outside of the door one day, and she had called me. She was very upset. Yo, what the fuck? You forgot to I was already stressing with some shit going on at home. I'm like, you know what? Matter of fact, I'm gonna just come down there. I'm gonna get my shit. Cause since this gate's a problem and and ABC 1, 2, 3, and you talking to me all crazy on the phone, we're gonna hash this out. I'm gonna come down. I'm gonna come get my TV. I'm gonna come get everything. We're gonna rock out. I'm gonna give you $50 for this monitor. We're gonna get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Like it's gonna be what it's gonna be. We got into a big ass argument when I got there. I'm not trying to go back and forth with you, especially with music when it's a space that this is my release. Like, even though this is work, I love doing this work. So, like, making clean music, making beats, recording people, recording myself, writing music, I love that. That is my escape. So, like, if I associate you with, if I associate my music with you being on my nerves, or you know what I'm saying, being an asshole or having an attitude, it's going to kind of take that space. Now, at the same time, I appreciate everything that I learned there. Of course. And she's still an OG, somebody I type it with. She's still, you know what I'm saying, gives me mad love. I still love her. We hashed that out and figured everything out, and we moved forward from there. But that was my sentiment in the space and the time.
Yeah, definitely.
So I learned a lot there, but Grass City literally pushed me to where I'm at right now. So, and I bet that January 24th will be a full year, bro.
Beautiful.
The space. Everybody who comes through Big Blue, I love them for that. That's what I call the space now. I call it Big Blue. Yeah, I painted it blue in like October. It was like my birthday gift to myself. I painted this blue. So I love it. When people come through and they see it or they see their signatures on the wall, I'm just like, you know,
now we just rock
space.
Yeah.
It's mad, but this is your space too. I want you to feel like you're at home. So and I think that with what I've invested in the space and what I've done with it, people can feel that. Like, it's not just like it's not just a studio, but they fuck with it because they see it. Oh, bro, you really
about your shit, right?
You gotta get your little couch in here, get some plants and shit, like, you know, LED lights, you know. So like I created something that can be what I want it to be, but it's also enjoyable.
Nah, man, and that's a beautiful, story, man. Thank you for, giving perspective on that, bro. Brother, man, thank you so much for coming up and chopping that up, bro. This is just like the part of the pod where, anything you're working on, definitely plug, Man-Made Studios, where they can find you at on IG, all that stuff, man. But the floor is yours, bro. Thank you so much for coming up, man. We appreciate
I know what's going on. It's your boy, BrothaMans from Man-Made Studios. We tapping in live here at Masters in Creation Podcast. I know what the fuck going on. Kinfolk 3 dropping spring 2024. I got a bunch of singles dropping before that. Also, shout out to Dewey Marquis. He's going to be dropping a Yours Truly EP sometime before Kinfolk 3. Follow us on Instagram at BrothaMans7, at Man-Made Studios LLC if you need recording, if you need music videos, photography, podcasting, whatever.
Beautiful, man. Yo, BrothaMans in the motherfucking studio, bro. MIC Podcast, episode 103, community content. You get it all here. Forgive the dryness in my hands. We're in the middle of fucking January, and we're out, bro. Peace.